for video game digital art, and before even starting the course I had like zero knowledge about gaming, and I was worried everybody in my course was going to be like a gamer, and all I had knowledge of was the summer I played Club Penguin when I was in Egypt and I was like 12 or something. So I started with a game, Genshin. All I'm gonna say is I spent real money in Genshin after saying I never would. That was like my hard line where I was like, you know what, I could do the pseudo gambling but I'm not gonna spend actual money, and then I did. In short, I played Genshin every single day until I got physically sick. It was like my first game that I ever got engulfed. I think that's the word I'm looking for, engulfed in. And I got physically sick because I kept getting motion sickness. My mouse broke from clicking too much. I had to get a new chair and a new keyboard from playing Genshin too much. I even downloaded it on my iPad so I can play in bed. That's how addicted I was. It was summer. I left my job because I was starting uni in September. I literally had nothing to do all day except play Genshin all day. And then when it was time for bed, I'd be like, come into bed, babe. Guess what? I'm bringing my iPad and I'm playing in bed. It got to the point where I was penny counting every single primo. After getting exactly, what was it, 180, 160, I would pull. It was a bad time of my life. I don't look fondly back on that. When I would go shopping, I would see the veggies and think of all the Genshin meals I can cook. Got to the point where I think I started to see teleport points IRL. Yeah, that's when I knew I had to take a break. And because I had started like sometime in June or something, by the time I started uni in September, all I could talk about was Genshin. Do you play Genshin? Will you play Genshin with me? Have you ever heard of this amazing game called Genshin? Did you know you can play Genshin on your phone? You can play Genshin on iPad. You can play Genshin on this. And of course, everybody had already played Genshin in 2020. I hadn't heard of it in 2020. That is how far removed I was from the gaming scene. But thankfully, I think I wore everybody down enough that they started playing Genshin with me. Everybody went back and dusted off their old accounts that they used to play in 2020 or 2021, and we started playing. And around December, I think, I had discovered a new obsession called Overwatch. I feel so bad because I got everybody to play Genshin again, and then as soon as I got bored, I moved off to Overwatch, and now all I can talk about is Overwatch. I came back after the Christmas break and my name was no longer Genshin, my name was Overwatch now. Now if anybody mentions Genshin to me, I feel sick. Recording this part and talking about Genshin is making me feel sick. Now Genshin is like an ex that I don't want to mention or bring up, and if you talk to me about it, I'm like, damn, like why are you bringing up my past? I've moved on. I hope they're doing well. I'm doing better. Then came Overwatch. Let me set the scene. It was December, kind of like now. The weather, gloomy, the fit, cozy, the vibes off, because I was coming off the high of Genshin. But guess what? It didn't matter. I submitted my assignments. I had some time off. I was like, you know what? Let me try this other game that I keep seeing called Overwatch. And that is the day my life fell apart. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about how Overwatch actually ruins your life. Disclaimer, this wasn't my first official time playing Overwatch. There was one time I played it on the Xbox. It was a horrible experience. I played Sojourn because apparently she was the easiest character to start with. I kept sliding off the map, kept getting booped off the map. I'm gonna let you guess which map would have a Pharah, would have a Lucio, and everybody that was ready to boop me off the map. I don't even remember turning enough to see who was even booping me off the map. That's how bad it was. Everything was going off. I was so confused. I hated it, but I liked the aesthetics. Like, it was fun to look at. As much as I was confused, I still enjoyed a little bit. And I was like, okay, maybe the problem is that it's on Xbox, because I hate playing on console. I never really played on console growing up, so it's like I can never do the turning and playing at the same time. That's the problem. That's the fucking problem. I hated it so much. And because I enjoyed Genshin on PC, I thought, well, if this is on PC, I'll just give it a go on PC. So I downloaded it on my PC, and I knew it was gonna be hell. And spoiler alert, it was. Things slowly started to settle. And then I opened another can of worms called competitive. Playing competitive was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. I think it actually has physically aged me. It's given me anger issues. I started off in bronze. I posted about this online, right? And a lot of people didn't know it was possible to be in bronze. They thought bronze was like a bunch of bots, right? And I'm thinking, I am doing my absolute fucking best. How the fuck am I stuck in bronze? I was stuck in bronze for like most of the time of playing Overwatch. I think I only got out of bronze like 4 months ago maybe. And I haven't even played as much since because I'm so terrified. I'm so traumatized from bronze that I do not want to go back. Bronze was hell. and it was personalized for me. And you may think, oh no, Kavir, you think your main character was not personalized for you, it's hell for everybody. No, I'll tell you exactly how it was personalized for me. I had these two freaks. There were these two people that were always on an enemy team that would always target me specifically. I would get jumped, I would get spawn camped. No matter what character I was playing, they would find a way to wait for me by the corner. If Sombra wasn't banned, then there would be a Sombra behind the corner. If Sombra was banned, then there'd be a Pharah and an Echo. If Pharah was banned, then it would be Symmetra. All the fucking annoying characters to ever exist, they switch to those characters and they specifically target me. Exactly, yes. This is what I mean by personalized hell. Like, how do you even know me to remember me? Like, what? Recalling these memories is making me sweat a little bit. I feel a little bit hot right now. Remembering this, it's a bit traumatizing. So this happened in the first few competitive games I had, and up until I left bronze, every other game I would find them. I used to stream playing bronze, and they would be on the enemy team, and I would get so stressed, and everybody in chat was like, oh no, it's okay, you got this. And guess what? I didn't got it. I didn't fucking get it. Breathe in, breathe out. They're not real. Podcasts and legacy are not real. They can't get you. It's okay. It's okay. One of the reasons why I stopped playing competitive is genuinely because of them, because it was just horrible. And to make it all worse, after I told you that traumatizing story, guess what? I preferred competitive over quick play. How and why I cannot explain, but speaking as the future me, I have seen a light. I prefer quick play. I recently started playing quick play Mystery Heroes after playing 6v6, and I'm enjoying it. The only time I will ever play competitive now is if I have a stack. There's no way I'm solo queuing ever again in my life. Anyway, after I got back to uni after the Christmas, all I could talk about was Overwatch. Did you play Overwatch? Have you considered playing Overwatch? In some lectures, the tutors would bring up designs and things like that, and there would be an Overwatch character. I would hear Overwatch like halfway across the room, and I have bad hearing. Usually background noise kind of just melts together and I can't really make out what anybody's saying. But I swear to God, I have like a sixth sense for when someone's talking about Overwatch, because guess what? I'm turning around, I'm joining that conversation, and I'm gonna convince you to play Overwatch with me. There were like a few people in my class who used to play Overwatch and they were like hella addicted, but then they stopped playing it. I'm on a mission right now to recruit them, to get them back to play. The more of a stack we have, the better. That is like what I'm aiming towards right now. So far I got my friend, her boyfriend, and my other friend. There's 4 of us. Still need one more so that we can do 5v5. We need a tank. That's what we need. This is a cult and I'm actively recruiting for it. As someone who didn't really game growing up, getting into gaming in your mid-20s feels like joining a cult or a new religion and spreading the gospel. A year ago it was Genshin, today it's Overwatch. Before people even know my name, I'm asking, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Overwatch? You cannot convince me this is not a multi-level marketing scheme. Misery loves company, chat. Are you not convinced? Let me tell you another story. A friend of mine suggested that I get a new person, not even like someone who's already playing the game, right? A new player, get them to play Mercy just so that they can damage boost me, because at the time I was playing Ashe and Pharah, and we could be a Pharah Mercy. And that's when I realized this is a cult. We've been roped in. We're too far gone and we're trying to get more people in. Also, just a sidetrack, whenever I was like playing Overwatch or posting about it, people would comment, Overwatch in the big 25, Overwatch in the big 25. And I'm thinking, how the fuck do you know I'm 25? Like, why? Like, how do you know specifically that I'm 25? What the fuck is going on? But yeah, that was just a weird thing. Next year when I'm 26, someone's gonna say Overwatch in the big 26 and I'm gonna be so confused still. Despite the negative stories and the negative experiences I'm telling you about, the spawn camping, the teabagging. Fun fact, I actually learned about teabagging for the first time because of those 2 freaks that I was telling you about that kept harassing me in bronze. Despite all the negative things I'm saying about my experience playing Overwatch, it really genuinely was the best time I've had in the last 10 years or something. I've made like a bunch of friends from like Overwatch servers. I finally experienced a kind of traumatized bonding that I never had growing up. And you might think that's weird that I'm excited and happy about that. It's like I've never had a nosebleed. I always wanted to have a nosebleed. I'm curious about a nosebleed, you know? Kind of like that. I'm playing on Discord for like so many hours every day, eating in between games every time I die, like having a losing streak. As much as it like makes me mad, playing it with friends just makes it so much more less depressing. And I think Overwatch community, other than the people who say slurs in chat and stuff, like other than that, everybody is actually so fucking sweet and they're so lovely. Do you want to hear a funny joke? When I started playing Overwatch last December, I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit GM by the end of the year, because I genuinely believe I could do it, because it's like the first couple of months when I was playing it, couldn't hit a shot. That's how bad it was. And then eventually, like a couple months in, because I was playing soldier, my aim got better, and I'm like, this shit's easy. I can hit GM by the end of the year. And guess what? At the end of the year, I'm like silver 2. I gotta say though, I finally understand and I get rage. I think growing up I never really was angry, like I bottled it in until I played Overwatch. That shit has unleashed years and years and decades of anger. Do I hate it? Do I love it? Do I have another obsession that I don't need in my last year of uni? Who knows? But I'm getting better. I love targeting someone who pisses me off for the rest of the game. Before, I got pooped on, now I'm doing the pooping. When I first started playing, I would play like fire or something and someone would try to diss me and I didn't get it then. But now I get it, because if I'm playing 6v6 and you start to get on my nerves a bit too much, I'm swapping to your main and I'm gonna show you how it's played, even though I probably won't diff you as much, but still. I want to get back into streaming, but the stress of being observed, even with like 0 viewers, makes me play worse. And my biggest fear right now is streaming and de-ranking back to bronze. I think if I de-rank back to bronze, I'm actually just gonna delete the account. There's no way I can climb out of bronze again. And one thing I've noticed is playing bronze in itself is a punishment, because every time I won a game, it was like 8%. And then the moment I got out of bronze and I started playing silver, every win or loss is like 20%. It's so much easier to rank up outside of bronze than it is in bronze. So even though I would have like a winning streak, I wouldn't even get out of the same level. So I'd just be stuck on like, what, bronze 2 or something. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, bye bye.
Stop your rocket barrage incoming! Do something!
I'm on fire!
Engage the objective!
Better? The air calls.
Unloading scrap.
Irrepressible. That should do it. Climb aboard.